Hello, everybody. Welcome back to OSL. I'm happy to be here for Season 3. I hope everyone has had a splendid work week, and I hope you're all about to have a wonderful weekend. I'm sure you've all been eagerly awaiting the matches. It's wonderful to be back in the castings seat tonight here with you all, and for some absolute banger games this week. Unfortunately, we only have the one matchup tonight. We do have Lirsanmarine, I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm so sorry if I bug it up, versus Fredo. And for the matches tonight, first off, we have Clown for Lirsanmarine's pick, and then we will be going into the Wesker set, which is Fredo's pick. And if it comes to it, we'll also have a Doctor tiebreaker for you all. But I'd like to introduce my co-caster, Stasi. If he is here, he might be dead.
Yeah, no, I am here just waiting for the matches to start, and we are back. So we are going to be starting with our first set from Group B. This is including three other teams, Melatonin, Kato, and Zetsu. We won't be seeing any of those today. We will only be seeing Fredo and Lirsanmarine. I'm very, very excited because I don't know too much about our second team here, but obviously do know quite a bit about Fredo as they are OCE gamers, so we're going to be seeing them quite a bit. We will be starting our first chase with Age here, who will be giving a very, very early tag, but we'll be doing the classic head straight to bot, and we are going to be going straight to that God palette down bottom. It looks like we're going to be trying to do early yellow bottles here. Unfortunately, I think we're just going to miss it. Age does make the God palette here, and will buy a good amount of time for the first chase. Doesn't give a free down.
Yeah, he's using pallets pretty liberally here, but you kind of have to against Clan now. He is on Cold Tower 1. I'm assuming Nyx, JT, and Potato Savage are going to be super hype on those gens, getting them cranked as much as possible. With a little bottle throw there, I believe he's just going to be forced to sort of die edge map, and he just kind of has to pray that Sentry here from the Chinese team, Lirsanmarine, doesn't have any unique pain resistance to him. Now, it is worth noting that he's brought a very interesting build here. He's got his Painter's Sloppy Eruption, which is pretty stock standard, but he's also got Dragon's Grip, which is sort of a back pocket pick, if you ask me. Now, if you're unaware what Dragon's Grip does, when you kick a gen for, I believe it's the next 40 seconds, if someone were to touch the gen, it will expose you for 60 seconds, so it could net him a free down if he plays his cards right, and they don't expect the Dragon's Grip play. Now, he's going to get that hook onto Age, which will be a pain res, which is fantastic, and he's going to be able to apply his Eruption on this generator as well as his Dragon's Grip. So if they go back and they kick the gen too early, or they're too greedy with maybe trying to get rid of the regression that's happening in the generator, they're going to be punished very severely. But we see Sentry keeping an eye on his generators here. We heard one pop in the background here. I think that was over by one. And he's just having a little bit of a geeze, a little bit of a gander, applying his eruptions and trying to find any out-of-position survivors maybe. But I'm not sure if he's found anyone here. Oh, he has. We see some scratch marks linger on the ground here. He finds JT at the 4 lane. Not a great place to be, but he does get a direct hit with the bottle, but Sentry just holding W. He's going to be able to get this tag here onto JT, as we do see the second gen in the background pop, which is fantastic to see, but a nice little tag with the JT. We see the unhook coming in the background from Age now. Not a bad start for both teams, if I do say so myself. Sentry's going to be heading back over here to the unhook, trying to probably get a tunnel out onto Age, but that Sloppy Butcher is going to be slowing that healing progress quite a bit, as it should still be leaving. We do find Age here pre-throwing the power, but he's got not much else to work with here outside of the shack window, but a bit of an interesting position both teams are in here, Stasi.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not really anywhere for Age to rotate. That first chase was actually pretty respectable. You kind of got exactly what you wanted. You wanted to take the killer down towards 6, and you made use of both the pallets that were used as well, but unfortunately, we're only really able to get to 4, and it basically died because there's nowhere else to go. 7 was completely screened off, so we will be going on this hook in mid, and this will not be Scourge because Age has already been Scourged, and JT has also been reset in the background. So both teams are playing relatively fast at this point, and before what you were saying about Dragon's Grip, man, I've been seeing that a lot in the scrims that we've been doing, and it is an insane pick, especially on a Clown set. The moment you hear that scream, you're just forcing that person off the gen, and they have to play safe for 60 seconds. It's really boring, and we see JT's right there as well, so if that procs, that is very, very scary, and we do see the proc onto JT, and we are about to have a rough chase here as we are being screened completely to the edge map, and that is how you get completely shit on, unfortunately. Picking the Dragon's Grip, you had to be much safer around that, and now they know, so they're going to be much more concerned about that going later into the game. We do see the cooldown coming down now, and that will be another Scourge hook. So unfortunately, a big misplay by JT there, forcing that gen. If he didn't touch, he would have been fine, but now you know, and now you can actually decide to play around it.
Finding out about Dragon's Grip at such a crucial point in the match is definitely a bit of a bummer, dude. Especially in such a poor position at that generator that had bugger all good resources. We catch out the reset as well. Adam maybe nearly getting that, but unfortunately he's just going to be giving a sloppy butcher tag and Age, unlikely having bounce landing. He's just going to be eating the dirt right here, and that will be our tunnel out dead on the ground with our other person still on the hook, which means only Potato Savage is potentially on the gens, and even then I don't even know if he's going to be able to get it done because he might have to rotate for JT soon. Looking at the generator spread as well, it's not the best in the world for Sentry here. They're a little bit spread out, but he is getting a lot of central hooks, and there's quite a lot of pressure on the board. 2 tags onto Nix and JT. If I don't know what Potato Savage is up to right now, but best bet to say that he's probably cranking a gen somewhere off in the distance. And we do see maybe a potentially someone stealthing here. I don't know if this is JT or Adam, but this looks like the Adam Francis, which is the Nix here, but all he has is an elbow T-wall, which is not great, but he does get the down relatively quickly as he is a very poor tile to play around. Sentry thankfully not having a ton of resources on this side of main building, which is a pretty good. Now, if he's lucky, this hook here at 12 will be a pain raise, but that remains to be seen here. Given that he looked around about, I don't think it is a pain raise. Oh, it was a pain raise. Not quite getting it in time to interrupt the generator at 1, but that's okay because we find Potato Savage or other fresh hooks who's able to secure all his freshes here probably at the minimum. As, wow, Fredo have gotten the worst cult I've ever seen. There are so many 4 lanes, so many L-wall, T-walls, just not a really ton of really good loops, and the good loops that did spawn are kind of bald at the moment with no pallets, which is really a shame, and barely getting the whiff onto Potato Savage there. This forces Sentry to leave and rotate back down to 12 to stop the unhook from happening onto Nix from JT.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to agree with the RNG there. I wouldn't be too thrilled about it if I was loading into this map, but we've already been pushed into a 3v1 with 2 gens left against the Clown. It's really not looking good for us here. We do see the unhook, so we are going to be choosing the chase onto JT here. Endurance will be going away here, and we will be forcing the break, but we're actually deciding not to do it instead. We're going to leave that open, which I don't feel too strongly about, considering that we're going to be speeding ourselves up anyway, and we will be seeing the chase go on to our Adam here, who will be going straight towards 11. Unfortunately, we're not going to have too much to work with here. We might get really lucky with the 50-50. Looks like we do. We actually buy a little bit of time here. Going to go corner 11. We might be trying to force a 4K1 at this point, and honestly, it looks like that might be the go as we take the corner down 11, and we will be going on to likely a heel hook here from what I can see. We will, but I don't think that's too much of a concern considering most of the gens are actually down bottom now. So we've broken the top gens. We've done a pretty good job with that. We need to start heading down towards the bottom side though. I assume 5 or 6 is being worked on at the moment, and we will be zooming down as we see this road gen has absolutely no progress. But it's not a surprise because that'd be a really shit gen to work. And we do see 6 does pop. We weren't down there fast enough, unfortunately. We're going to check 5, and 5 does have 0 progress, unfortunately. But we do force the Dragon's Grip, so they might be a little bit scared to jump on it for a while, especially considering that 5, 6, and 7, it's starting to get really weak down there. There's not too much to work with.
Yeah, while Fredo doesn't have a lot of resources to work with, they do have a pretty decent gen split, which is really nice. And we got a bit of information from Dragon's Grip right there that JT is sort of stealthing around that loop there and just cranking that generator. So Sentry has about 90-ish seconds to sort of get this down onto Potato Savage and also get the pain res, but we see Nix trying to take the body block for Potato Savage, understanding the situation, and he's just going to be taking it down, and that will be the kill. But there is an eruption proc there, which is huge. It buys us a good bit of time. Sentry just ripping it and flipping it immediately and just feeding Potato Savage a free pallet save. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there, so it's really unfortunate for him, but a great boon for Fredo there. Very well played from Potato Savage, recognizing the situation and playing around Sentry's very sudden pull onto Nix there, but it looks like he's just clocked in and gone, okay, well, I can't really chase around main building anymore. We know that JT's working the generator. We need to drop that chase and rotate over here and stop him from walking the generator. This might mean that they can crank a different gens, and we also do have a God Rock filler here, which is a huge for JT, but Clown can play around these fillers pretty well. He is a little bit bugged at the moment, so his pink clouds are pretty small, and a very nice fault from JT, timing that perfectly, but I think that pink bottle there might spell his demise, but no, bolting at the exact correct time yet again. Sentry needs to play around his haste bottles here a little bit, maybe place a haste bottle at his feet and then throw a pink bottle, but he's just trying to play around the God filler, but JT holding his checkies, but unfortunately not quite winning that check spot there and going down, which is certainly unfortunate. Sentry, recognizing that he doesn't really need to pick here, is going to be slugging JT and rotating over to this generator to keep an eye on it, but I can't imagine they would have rotated up for this generator, but it does have quite a lot of progress. So I do wonder if maybe they have rotated up with the generator because they had a good bit of progress, but I would have thought they would have started working a different gen. But again, maybe I'm just a bit bored, a bit silly.
Yeah, I was about to say that gen's actually looking at about 60-70%, so there was a fair bit on that. We are going to see the hook come into middle here, and I'd say this is actually a pretty good spot for a hook for Sentry. This is right in the middle of all three gens. We do see some scratch marks as well, heading up towards 3 here, and we will be following through the 4 lane, which still does have a little bit of defense there with the pallet, and JT going on first. Oh, sorry, JT going on second hook. Is going to put a lot of pressure on the survivors to speed it up, as we will be getting a free hit onto this gen and forcing the Dragon's Grip as well. And I assume we're going to be playing around this side of the map very heavily, so it's going to be very scary for any survivor who gets on that generator. But we are pushing ourselves up towards 10 here, and we do see another gen that is being worked on. The survivors are doing a very, very good job of actually pushing the game here towards its conclusion. We do see JT does get unhooked in the background. Adam will be going for the final chase here, and it looks like we're going to be putting the pressure on. Take it towards main. This is exactly where you want to go. Force the down at 12. We are going to see the down come through, but that is absolutely fine, as we see the screen does happen in the background. That is going to be Dragon's Grip proc, and we will be going towards mid here, and we might not make it actually, because that was very high. And we see the final generator of the trial does proc Potato healthy still, and JT will be heading towards the gate, seeing if we can get some stages out. This was looking pretty rough at the start, but the 3v1s started to clutch up.
Yeah, we did see a pretty rough start for Fredo. The Age getting obliterated kind of early, but we do find Potato Savage, which is not good, nice and early. He needs to play for the hatch here unless JT wants to take a death roam and is able to get the gate done. But we wanted JT to die here instead of Potato Savage, but Sentry sniffing out Potato Savage, and he's just going to have to play for his life. But unfortunately, he's just got no resources, so JT needs to kind of get out now, and Potato needs to pull a miracle run to not go down. But no, he's getting hit with the Chinese ping through that window. He's probably 5 feet away from that window, and yes, he is. That's really unfortunate for Potato Savage, as that's going to result in probably 11 stages for the clan here, allowing JT to get out the gate, which is unfortunate for Fredo, as ideally, of course, you wanted Potato at that door because he was fresh, but this is the best possible result for Sentry, I think. Very close to a 4K, unfortunately not quite able to get it. Fredo doing an amazing recovery. JT just barely getting out that door with that one stage, which means all Lirsanmarine needs to do, oh god, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, by the way. All Lirsanmarine needs to do here is just get 2 stages out the door and they're clean. Get 1 fresh out the door or the hatch, however you want to play it, and your happy days. Now, we are going to go into a short intermission here while we set up the next game. We'll be right back after a short break.
Welcome back, everybody, to OSL Season 3, where we are finally getting back into the action with our first set of the entire tournament, which has 20 teams, by the way, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think we've really seen too many tournaments with this amount of teams in OCE. We're usually a pretty small region, not too many teams at once, but the fact that we've been able to scrap, well, I should say 19 because Mortified dropped out, but we'll say 20 for the numbers. 20 teams getting back into it is pretty awesome. So this is going to be a bit of a long tournament, but we'll see what happens. We are back to Fredo versus Lirsanmarine, where we are going to be seeing our killer Age load in here to see if he can do some sick clown gameplay, as we do find a what? Wait, what? We just found a survivor.
We've got multiple survivors, Starzy. It looks like we got Nancy here at the main building, unfortunately getting medium vaulted there due to the angle at which she took the vault, but she's able to, I think that was line the way potentially, and pre-throw the pallet. They were just going to be playing around main building by the looks of things, but we also saw Lara Croft in the background there, sort of lurking and stalking by that 4 lane, and we get the tag early, but we don't commit to Nancy. It looks like we're rotating way to try and apply a bit more pressure. We do have a much different build this time as well. We have the Brown out on the Feather, which I believe changes the angle or the speed of the bottles. And as well as the, I think that's the Flask of Bleach, which is the more slowdown. A bit strange seeing it blue. It's very odd, but we do find a high progress gen here. Well, I say high progress, we find a progress gen here. Applying our eruption. No funny business with Dragon's Grip this time. We do instead have Brutal Strength and Deadlock instead of Pain Res and Dragon's Grip, which is a more interesting build. I do think Eruption has a little bit of anti-synergy with Deadlock, as Eruption will not proc on Deadlock gens, but we find Ace Visconti here rotating around the water tower here and trying to play around this pallet to the best of his ability, but Age taking chase, trying to use his balls to maximum effectiveness, but oh dear, looks like Ace has unfortunately vaulted back into Age, and he will now be playing around the Shack here trying to play for his life, but keep in mind, Lirsanmarine is on decently high ping, but we pre-throw the Shack pallet, and we're able to make a good bit of distance here, but as Age is the clown, and he doesn't have any bottles, unfortunately, we had a Godfiller spawn next to the Shack, which is really unfortunate for Age, but nothing for it to connect to, so a quick brutal strength kick of that, and that does mean that this Ace won't make the window. I think if Age didn't have brutal strength, the Ace wouldn't have made the window, so big perk value coming in there. We see the eruption taking place, and this will be the first hook of the match.
You know, Smunk, there's unfortunately something I've forgotten to mention as we take a little bit of a break from the high intensity gameplay here. Tipping is finally back. I was meant to introduce it the first game, but I completely forgot. We're finally back to tipping. So everyone, if you want to join in on the tipping, there are quite a few rewards. One of them is you get to do a weekend event, which is pretty sick. I'm really excited for that. There's also a $100 gift card and the role in the Discord, of course. Like 1v1 champion, very similar to that. But if you guys want to join in the tipping, there are two ways. You can either use your channel points, which is 75k. If you click on the channel point, you'll be able to see it straight away. I just found it. There it is. And also you can sub to the channel as well. So if you want to join in the tipping, do it now because only the first set will be cut off. So you can still join in for the other ones if you join quick enough, and we'll add the role to you as well. So make sure to get in because I'm really keen to see more of you tip, guys. And we've got a lot of results as well already. So there's going to be a ton of games to go through. And of course, being able to choose your own event sounds pretty awesome. So make sure to get into that. And this entire speech, nothing happened. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Age playing super defensively here, just applying some pressure to this generator. There's pretty high progress over here at 10. And it looks like we're going to be committing to chase onto Nancy at main building now that Ace has successfully gone to second stage, which is really unfortunate at 4 gens. I guess technically 3 because that generator is such high progress. We did see Deadlock putting in a little bit of work there now. One difference here between Age and also Sentry is Sentry played a more active clown, right? Like he did a lot of aggressive chasing. He didn't play super defensively. He didn't confirm stages. He played super aggressively away from the hook and then rotated back to get his tunnel out onto Age. And Age is sort of taking a bit of a shift in his approach. He's playing a lot more defensively. He's applying his eruption. He's maybe getting some resources out, getting a couple tags, and then he's going back to his hook to get the camp. But we do see a loud noise notification as someone is finally getting Ace Visconti off that hook, but we also see the FTP coming through, which is huge. This is probably going to be our FTP renewal player, but Nancy here doesn't have any resources because Ace used them all, so she's just unfortunately going to end up dying corner. Age not having pain res means that he can't get much value out of this initial first hook outside of points and a bit of a security with the eruption proc that just triggered. We do see the deadlock happening at 10, which I think got erupted before the gen got popped. I'm not quite sure, but we have a fresh hook onto Nancy. Ace gone into the wind, probably playing super safe, maybe cranking that main building generator, playing it super safe. Really unfortunate for Age that he gets that tunnel out cut off so short. Depending on when Nancy gets pulled off this hook as well, she will also very likely have renewal and be healed up in 20 seconds after the unhook happens. So if he's unable to get a tag there, that'll be very unfortunate. We see the gen at 10 pop. Looking at his 3 gen, he's just trying to hold Shack to the best of his ability, which to his credit, there's not a lot of resources at that side of the map anymore. So whenever a chase does happen, you're likely going to be seeing a tag and then the person hauling us immediately down to main to take the chase here. Age having a sneaking suspicion that someone's here, and he would be correct as Ace Visconti is in the main building, but it looks like he's playing it very safe and doing a good bit of check spotting, and ooh, very nice hold there from Ace, delaying the tunnel out for as long as possible. Now his job here is to last as long as humanly possible while his survivors on the other side of the map try and get a gen done there, because then they have the main building to work in the future. But Ace kind of just has main building and a full line to work with, which isn't the best resources available, as this pallet is not the greatest against Clown, but unfortunately Age not able to hit any of his bottles here, as Ace will be able to get another fast through this window. But oh, a head-on play coming through, buying Ace a ton of distance, allowing him to rotate all the way over to 1, but looks like Age is shifting focus over to Hanato here, just trying to get a tag, but Hanato playing around this pallet really well. You have brutal strength. Age, make good use of it, and that he does as he rotates over to try and make use of this 4-lane window. But ooh, Hanato playing for his life here. They do manage to pop a gen and Age's 3 gen, and this is unfortunately going to result in probably a loss for Age. I can't see any world where he wins his set, Starzy.
Yeah, I was about to say, even just back then when he got to the 4 lane. He actually went through the first corner. We saw Sentry go around the corner, and Age didn't know where the pallet was, so he just assumed it was there and stepped back when there was no pallet there. Unfortunately, give a little bit of an extra time in chase, but Sentry, of course, does go down here, and we are definitely going to be seeing outs from our Survivor team. We've been playing extremely well. We do have a hook all the way at the top of the map, but that literally means nothing because we are going to be seeing all the action down the bottom now. And this is where you want the chase to be. Yeah, you got main, but who cares? You're working on 6 and 7, and Age is completely not concerned, as unfortunately a lot of his perks have kind of gone out of the game at this point, as we do continue the chase onto our ace, and we get a little bit shit on there as we get it for VTech, and the adrenaline does come through as well, as we are going to be seeing the unhook. Our bottles coming through, of course, and we do give another hit here, and all we need to do is get 2 stages out, which at this point is completely confirmed, as we are going to be going right around this long wall here. We do see the down coming in onto our Renato, and we are going to be jumping into the locker for the final little salt of the game, and we do see the down come through. That will be Sentry's second hook come through, and the survivors are just completely out at this point. This is probably going to be a 5-stage game, so this was a complete destruction in favor of Lirsanmarine, doing extremely well. Yet we see all 3 survivors completely leave. Sorry, that was a 6-stage, but extremely well played to our Survivor team. That was just amazing gameplay. Age was playing way too slow to even try to keep up. Unfortunately, just trying to fight for that second stage at the start, let the Survivor go. 3v1 didn't even come at all at any stage in the game. So when you're trying to fight for that early, the fact that you're not able to locate that Survivor after is just a complete throw. Fortunately, we will be going into our next set, which will be Wesker, but we'll be back with you in just a few minutes as we set that up.
Hello everybody, welcome back to OSL Season 3 for the first matchup of the game. This is Lirsanmarine versus Fredo. Once again, I apologize to that team if I keep pronouncing their name wrong, but in case you missed the first matchup of tonight, we did just see Clown, which was Lirsanmarine's pick, and they did win their own pick pretty decisively, with Sentry getting 11 stages and Age, I believe, getting 7 stages, 3 fresh, I think was the result. It was like 6 stages, 2 fresh, something like that. But regardless, Lirsanmarine did take the first set, which is huge on Clown, but now we're going to be loading into Fredo's pick of the Wesker on Wrecker's Yard. So I'm keen to see how they do. They do have Age on the Wesker. I'm hoping we see maybe a bit more of a consistent build from Age, because personally, I don't think the Clown build he brought last time was doing him many favors, which is a shame. But I'm keen to see how Age goes here as we do load in, and it does look like he has a much more stock standard build on the Wesker for Wrecker's Yard. We've got Eruption, Painres, Corrupt, Brutal, as well as the Leather Gloves. Is that the Leather Gloves add-on? And then the Jewel Beetle? I think that's right. But very good. Okay, not bad start so far. Age is moving up to 12. He does find Ace nice and early. Keep in mind these Marine are on ping, but oh god, a really nice stun there from Ace, and that's going to buy him a ton of distance away from where he was stunned just there, and able to maybe find a bit of a better resource. He does take the vault through the jungle gym there, and he's going to be rotating up to this terrible truck over here, but he is taking chase in his corrupt, which is exactly what you want, as his teammates are going to be cranking gens outside of the corrupt, and then once a gen or 2 pops, hopefully he's able to rotate down and die in that area, which is of course the best case scenario. Maybe a head-on play there from the truck, but no dice, unfortunately, as we do see the first day of the game come through.
It looks like we will continue to take the chase towards 2 here, as we are going to try and do some clutch plays. We are going to see our Ace does go for the... Oh, I thought that was the Ace there for the early vault, but no, my eyes got shit on. And it looks like we do see our Nea will be coming in for the body block. Unfortunately, we are really far off. Age... Oh, I cannot believe that this is the pick for Fredo here, because that did not look good. I really hope Age is able to clutch up after that, because that was free, and we dropped the ball a bit. We do. Oh, Age, I can't watch what is going on, man. This is not the pick for Fredo. There's no way.
It's very unfortunate for AJ, a couple unlucky things. Jewel Beetle doing a lot of work against him. They're not able to get the free tag onto Nia, but he does definitely get the infection, which may or may not bite her in the ass later on if she does reach that full infection stage. But we're going to be continuing the chase into Ace here as Age tries to get the down. He might just be able to get a dash before he gets to the pallet, and he gets sidestepped there by Ace, and he's able to make it around the truck, the little pile of garbage there again, able to drop that pallet, but he does have brutal strength up here at 12. We see the first gen pop in the background there before Corrupt is even gone, so we see Lirsanmarine doing really really well on the gens there, and Ace will be dying top 12. First gen coming through, 2 gens done outside of his corrupt, but Age at least has the hook in the gens that aren't being done, which is huge, as of course this was the corrupt area. If he's lucky, he might have a pain rose here to get whatever gen's getting done now, but to start things off, it's looking really grim for Age and really great for Lirsanmarine.
Yeah, Lirsanmarine absolutely popping off right now. Just capitalizing on the mistakes that Age is making, which is exactly what you want to do in a game like this. You're just playing extremely, extremely well. But we do see a stealthing survivor here. We are going to find our Ronaldo a little bit out of position, but actually does make it to the window as well, which is a bit of a shock. And we are going to try and play around this little shitty pallet here. And we swing through it. Unfortunately, Sentry, reading our mind, completely steps away. And now we're forced to leave as well. Going back to 12 to see whether we can do something a little bit crazy with the unhook. Unfortunately, this is going to be a first unhook. We see an FTP coming through as well. And we know that this is going to be a Scourge hook following suit very, very quickly. We are just going to walk this Nia down and take a 3 down here, as this will be our second Scourge hook of the game. Another hook coming at 12. We are hoping to hold this 3 gen. I don't think 11 had too much progress from what I remember, but I didn't really see it very well. But we do have a gen down near, it's like a shallow 2 kind of vibe, and we do see 10 here, which is actually being worked on as well. Yeah, it's sitting at about 40. So the survivors working pretty hard right now. We've already gotten 2 gens done. Another Scourge hook comes through. That might have been 70 as well after the second Scourge hook that came through there. As we are going to be taking the chase onto the Ronaldo here. We unfortunately miss again, but that was more of a catch-up phase, so that's exactly fine. And we are going to be taking the chase towards 6. Do we continue the chase onto Sentry here, or do we go back for the unhook, as we know we do have a broken survivor? We do. We are going straight back for our Nia here. See if we can catch Lirsanmarine a little bit off guard and put the pressure on, because we are once again playing very, very slowly. Age needs to step it up, need to put it into high gear at this point.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Age. I think the best course of action for him right now is to maybe play for Freshers. If we did see another gen pop in the background there, we have a little bit of a cluster of gens here with Shaq and those 2 other gens we just saw out of the periphery of Age's vision. And we're trying to play around the Shaq here. And catching out Ace, nice there. But if he's able to hit the dashes, it'd be really good. But if Ace is able to dodge, that's going to be a huge benefit for him. And he is able to sidestep Age's dashes there, which is really unfortunate for him. He's taking the chase all the way down to 6, where there are still some resources up. And Age is just unfortunately forced to leave this. If I was in Age's position, I think I would just be playing for my Freshers, getting my pain resist, and then worrying about tunneling later, as at this point you can't really get a 4K. It's not too feasible in this position you're in. You kind of need to play for the most amount of points humanly possible, and to do that you just need to go for your Freshers. This is the Nia who was the FTP, so she might be a decent tunnel out target here, but she's playing around the power really well, and unfortunately getting hit through that power. I think that's a little bit of ping on her side, and a good swing from Age there, but she is going to be staying at this resource here, as it's not a terrible place to die, but although she dies too close to the shack there, she is going to get hooked in the basement. But pre-throwing the crane there, exactly what you want to do, but that brutal strength coming in clutch, as we just first get our first token back there on our dash. Age once again being forced to leave, applying his eruption now. He's sort of bouncing around the survivors, not really committing too hard, not going for many kicks, but I don't really know what you want to do if you're Age. You just keep seeing Ace and Nia. You need to find Lara or Hanato, I think, and get your pain resistors going, as well as this juicy fresh hook points. But it looks like we're just faking the power drop with the action there. That's going to be very spicy and unfortunate for Age. It looks like we did see a bit of smasher coming through on Ace, and he has yet another resource, because we are playing on the Wrecker's Yard, which is super resource dense, and Age might be able to get the dash here, but no, Ace is rotating away from that power, forcing him to vault it. And honestly, Stasi, Lirsanmarine are playing out of their goddamn minds tonight.
Yeah, look, Lirsanmarine, they're playing very well. They're playing phenomenal. I can't take that away from them. But watching Age's mechanics here is really, really a struggle. It's unfortunate, because I just can't see what the issue is. I mean, he seems to understand the mechanics, but just there are some dashes here that just really are not working in his favor. Just seems to go for early vaults, and honestly, Lirsanmarine are just capitalizing on all the mistakes he's making, and unfortunately, that one was a little bit hard to avoid, actually. But yeah, man, we're just going for this last Scourge hook, just trying to keep ourselves in the game. Look, every stage at this point will help us out. And wow, we actually get 50-50 there. Unfortunately, this Lara is buying a ton of time. Was almost able to step away, actually. But do see the down come through here. We go for a bit of a swing. Does buy an extra second or two. And we do finally see the down coming in from Lara. Very well played by that chase. Honestly, every chase from Lirsanmarine is just another capitalize on playing very, very well. And we don't see a Scourge Hook. Oh, that is going to be really unfortunate, as we are going to be heading into the end of the game without any gen pressure, unfortunately. And that's going to be our option coming back as well. Man, Age is just struggling to keep up with the amount of speed that Lirsanmarine are putting out. Fredo are going to have an absolutely insane lineup. Oh no, we've done it again. That's 2 times this game that we've thrown someone towards the empty, and we are going to see him just drag this chase out for free. And this is just going to be free value that he's getting here. And we see Lara getting reset in the background as well. But Fredo are going to have a cracked lineup to have any chance of getting low stages, because this is going to be really difficult to beat going into the end game.
If you can get maybe a hook onto Sentry, but it looks like he's rotated Weather and is going for the kick onto Shack. I was just say, if you can get the hook onto Sentry and then you can kind of camp it in the endgame and get a kill there, you have, what, 4 freshes, like 6 stages? If you have a really cracked lineup, you could potentially, you know, come out with maybe a draw. Because keep in mind, this is Fredo's pick, so there is a good chance that the Survivor lineup on this set is really confident with what they can do. And it looks like Age has understood that he just needs to go for the fresh, get as many points for his team as humanly possible, and maybe even camp him out and kill him. But we do see Nia coming in for the hit here, and this might even be our Dren player. So as soon as this hit comes through, it looks like he's opting to use his power. But Jewel Beater might screw him over, but no, he does get the throw though, which is huge. We see the full infection coming through onto Sentry, so he is 4% slower. So this might make him a little bit easier to catch, but we're going to know that this Shack gen is nearly done. We do see it pop there. Unfortunately, we did not see... Oh, nearly getting the dash there onto Sentry, but just barely missing. Lara here to take a hit. We're just going to be trying to get Sentry out of the gate as fast as humanly possible. We did see Lara turn red there, so this will force the grab, actually, which is exactly what you want. If you want anyone to die, you don't want it to be Sentry, because everyone else is worth the exact right amount of stages. But we do see the Kraken coming in. That might have been a really good save, just a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, no, it doesn't quite come in. But we do get the door open, and that means everyone is out, including our fresh hook, which is Sentry, which is a fantastic result for Lirsanmarine. We see 5 stages, 3 fresh hooks coming in on the side of Fredo, which isn't great, but Age did make the best of a bad situation, I think. Maybe committing to some more fresh survivors and just really going hard for your pain resers rather than, you know, constantly falling back, trying to kick gens with Eruption. Maybe wasn't the best play. Trying to play around drop pallets, maybe trying to use that brutal strength a bit more to get those downs as quick as humanly possible. But Lirsanmarine setting a fantastic win con for their Wesker. And with all that being said, we're going to head into a short intermission where we get potentially the last match of the night set up for you. Well, we'll be right back very shortly.
Welcome back, everyone, to OSL Season 3, where we are seeing what will unfortunately most likely be the final game of today, as we are going up against this is going to be a 6-stage win con, actually, for our killer here. So they've got a lot to work with, and if they have endgame perks, we're going to be in a real pickle, man. But let's see what we can do, as we are going to be seeing Lirsanmarine swap to killer instead. Unfortunately, Age was only able to make 5 stages last game, so hopefully the Survivor team's been hard scrimming, man, and we'll be able to see some clutch shit go off. But we are going to see Nano, the P100 Mastermind, loading in. Oh, that's a bit scary. And we will be starting up here. I'm excited to see what we can do here. Hopefully we can see some clutch gameplay coming in from a Mastermind. Already seems a little bit laggy, but that might have just been my POV there. As we do see survivors all the way up 12 already, we have spotted people very, very quickly. And we have got people on the hill as well. So this is actually a nice hill for the survivors at the moment. Forces him to go all the way around. And he seems to have found 2 already. He's actually looking for a survivor that's a little bit out of place. And he does. He finds, I believe this is M to start off the first chase. And she will be making her way down towards 2. He's actually already made a fair bit of distance. So we are going to be going a little bit clutch here, and hopefully trying to delay the first hit. It does come through a little bit early, but that's absolutely fine. Actually, I say a little bit early, but it didn't really. But oh my god, the dual beetle got in a little bit clutch there. Actually threw him against the wall just before we hit it, and M will be waiting on this 12 pallet, as the rest of the survivor team will be heading down towards 6 to get these gens started.
Yeah, we see a much faster down there for Nano than we did on Age last game. Now, to be fair, I did hear that Age was filling for Fredo's Mastermind players. There a person who should have been playing Mastermind unfortunately couldn't make it, so he was doing a bit of filling. So Age made best with the tools that he could. But despite that, he did set an unfortunate result for his team. Playing around that, of course, 6-stage win con, he got 3 fresh hooks as well. But I think Nano is probably a lot more confident in the Mastermind, given, of course, his P100 status. We also have Burst Pain Res coming through. He's checking around the active generator, seeing if there's anyone here. He's playing super defensively. He doesn't really need to play aggressively here. He can afford to sort of just play on his own terms. He does find, I think this is Age at the fun bus here, and he gets grabbed on the other side of the pallet and slammed. That's not what you want to see, but to be fair, I also see that on 30 ping, so that's really unfortunate. And that was a really good pallet too, so that kind of sucks a lot for Fredo there, as we get the injury and the infection, and we're just able to play super defensively here, guarding M to the best of our ability and just keeping people away from this hook, and it looks like we're just very content to stay here, stand here, twiddle our thumbs and wait for Nano to go, wait for M to go second stage, which is huge. But while we're waiting here, kind of doing nothing and seeing if the survivors want to come up and do a bit of a cheeky trade, I did want to give a shout out to an event that is happening tomorrow at 12 p.m. AEST. That is Dead by Femmes, or DBF for short. They're doing a charity stream there, which is going towards the White Ribbon Foundation. So please go check them out. 12 p.m. AEST. We'll have a ping and everything in the Discord for when that's happening. So you should go show them some love. Go donate some money for some a really good cause. I'm starting on my words, I'm really sorry, for the White Ribbon Foundation. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's from 12 to whenever it ends, so probably very late because there's a lot of teams, but we do see the FTP coming out from Frilly onto M there, and it looks like we're going to be taking the chase into Frilly maybe, unless we can find M. M is still infected, so if we're able to find her about the time that she goes to Red Infection, if she's not able to cleanse it, that could be really huge for us, but it looks like we're going to be chasing Frilly Fry here, who I think did really well in the Spirit 1v1s, if I recall correctly, but he does unfortunately just die in the corner there, which is a bit of a shame, but this will be the second pain res for Nano here, which is huge for him, and that will likely interrupt a gen that's high progress.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a vital change here. We'll likely get it before we actually see the third gen prop, and that is the case, as we still see for Gen still in the trial. I'm sure the survivors are making good rounds, but unfortunately, we do see Age actually hasn't been reset at all, and M is also still infected. So the can usages have been a little bit slow. Now we find Age as well, who's going to be hindered and also going to be injured here. So this is really the worst person you want being chased here, and we see a very quick down. Unfortunately, there wasn't really too much you can do there. Being hindered, a very difficult spot to be in. But we do see the down, and the reset will be, the unhook will be coming in the background here, as we're going to be taking the survivor straight back towards 4 as well. Potato Savage will be stealthing. We're hoping Potato Savage can do a bit of a clutch play here. Potato is known for doing very, very well in tournaments, doing very consistently well, actually. So maybe we should get some of the chase on Potato here. Maybe he can make something work, something crazy, but we are going to be following Philly here, actually. We will be looking for our ace, who will be getting reset up, who will be taking the chase up the top side. Can't really tell what's going on at the moment. Looks like we do find Philly here, and unfortunately we don't have another dash, so we won't be able to get the down there, but we will be trying to get the aggro here as we take the chase towards 2, and we have fallen very far behind. Nano actually a little bit lost in the source here as we take the chase towards 3, and Philly has made a ton of distance. It's just seeming to run constantly, almost running at the same speed as the killer, but it looks like we do finally see the break here, and hopefully we do see the down coming not long after, as we do see a drop here as well from the Firecracker. We're going to try and get a charge around the rock, but it does not end up working out, and Nano is starting to lose a lot of pressure. Philly is just going crazy.
I think Philly did drop the pallet there. Looked like he did anyway, but Jewel Beetle coming in clutch, throwing him against the shack. No, he didn't drop the pallet, I'm silly, but no, just keeping an eye out, seeing if anyone's nearby with a beamer or a pallet, a potential pallet save, as Philly was calling towards it, but it looks like we were working the shack gen, which is a very interesting choice here, and given what stages are we at now? We got a hook onto Age, we got a hook onto Philly. I think Philly's on second stage now, actually. And we've got a hook onto M, so we've got our 3 freshers. All he needs to do now is just kill Philly Fry and maybe another hook onto anyone else. And we've won. We're done. We're done and dusted. We're 2-0 in Fredo. No need for the dock tiebreaker, but it's looking really grim for Fredo. Nano did lose a bit of steam in that chase, with Philly taking a very, very nice chase there. And I think a little bit more of that would be really good, but looks like we are doubling the hill gen there. We see Age in the background on another gen, so If Nano does confirm this kill here onto Philly, he is going to be playing around 1 gen left, so it might actually be pretty close. If Potato Savage can try and beta chase and have a legendary run, this might be huge for Fredo, actually. They might even be able to tie the set and take us to Dock, but that remains to be seen as Nano is playing super defensively around his win con here, not letting Philly out of the basement. I think Fredo survivors completely understand that Philly's dead. He's gone, unless they want to send Age in for a trade like a madman, but we see the hill gen getting done. We see Potato working another gen in the background there. I don't know where that is, actually, but yeah, Philly's just got to camp in Philly with a power up, which is fair enough. You know, once he dies, you just need essentially just a hook into Potato and you win, right? But we do see Potato working a gen there in the background. I think he's got Deja too, so it's and working bus as well. We're splitting our generators here. Hopefully, if Potato doesn't get interrupted, they're able to go for a legendary run here, unless they want to play super stealthy and have someone else take the chase. But I do think you can't, in this situation, Fredo wants Potato to take the chase, because in my opinion anyway, Philly and Potato are probably the two survivors that are the strongest on this team. I'm not saying Age and M are bad survivors, but I think Philly and Potato have sort of shown that they're very confident against the Wesker. But it looks like Nano is lurking and stalking near M's gen, and she's trying to repair this bus gen, but Nano not able to find her, is going to be rotating away. Potato Savage lucky cranking a generator somewhere in the background there, unless they're just hard stealthing. We see the generator that I believe Potato was working here by this rock, but with a quick kick, Nano is going to be applying that eruption, and I dare say he might even be scanning the area for Potato, but Potato not making himself known. He's just going back to Shack. So I can't imagine they'd be working Shack. It was a bit of poor form to do that. They're probably just two splitting both the bus and also this little rock gen over here. Would you see Potato here? I think he's been caught. He has been caught here. He's going to be going up to the hill to get maybe a potential bounce landing play, but I don't think he's able to make it. If Nano did a swing there, he might have been able to actually tag Potato before he's able to get the bounce landing off, but he has sort of just bounce landing away into the middle of 90, and I think a dual beetle at the edge map here is going to be very bad news for Potato, and it is a dual beetle here. I think Nano's just going to be able to get a quick 2-tap onto Potato here, Stasi.
No, but we see Age coming in for a clutch body block here. Does get the free tag, but honestly, that is absolutely fine. We kept Potato Savage alive. We know that there is one down separating us between a tie and defeat. We have to completely go flawless for the rest of the game to keep it alive. And Age, it looks like he is trying to do that. Will possibly be able to make a vault here only just in time. Actually goes for the fake, and it ends up working pretty well. Age is able to step away a little bit here. Does go for another rotation. Unfortunately, you can only really do this for so long. Oh no, he vaults straight back into the killer, and we see 2 eruptions in the background. And we could just go for the hook here, but looks like we're actually seeing a double in the background. It would be crazy to see an Adren play from Age there, but nah, it goes onto Potato instead. And it looks like this will be our chase as well, as we are going to be going for Potato here. Unfortunately, he does not have balance, as Adren did just proc. And oh no, we're going a little bit crazy, bro. Nah, there's no way they hit. There's no way. And it looks like Potato is going to be going straight back to the hook, the hill here, as we are going to charge our bound. If we miss this, this could actually be really bad. We're spending way too long on Potato, but we take the down. That could have been really awkward if we missed, but we didn't, and that will be the 6th hook of the game, which will secure the win for Lirsanmarine. That is going to be a 2-0 lead in favor for our China players.
Yeah, Wesker set being a lot closer than I thought it was. Very good recovery from Fredo, a good chase from Philly. There, I think, brought back a lot of pressure that Fredo needed, and also Nano playing really defensively with some of those hooks there, but it looks like he's just playing around at the moment with M trying to get the dash here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Age just leaves and then just sort of accept defeat, as 4 fresh 6 stages, that is the big W for Lirsanmarine here, as M is trying to rotate out of the game here, but I think with a well-timed dash, Nano's going to be able to catch her off guard and potentially kill her right before she gets to the exit gate. We're waiting, we're being patient, we're holding power, we're Huntress taking. Oh, he's holding powers like Huntress's hold powers in pubs, my goodness, but we do force M to sort of play around this edge map fella, and if she goes to the right, we'll be able to break with Brutal Strength and just down her anyway. And I think Nano is just having fun, I don't know. Having a grand old time with M, but he does break with Brutal Strength. I think he was just waiting for his power to come back, actually, and he's able to get the down here on M, I believe, but she's playing really well around this junk tiles, and I think just a quick M1 will spell the end for her, which is really unfortunate for them, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Potato Savage and Age just sort of get out that other gate. But no, we're fully resetting under the hook instead of getting out, which is a choice, but Age is also going to need to get a spray here, because if he gets slammed, he's just going to die. But we do thankfully get the down onto M, who did have Hope, by the way, so it was a bit of a harder chase for Nano to play around, but Hope is dope.
Yeah, I was about to say, Hope Man, it makes a lot of gameplay. You know, I actually remember a game that you were in. It's funny that you mention I remember a game that you were in where you were versing Monk. It was Monk that had hope.
You're a mean man.
I remember Smunk was playing Plague,
No,
and
I
he
wasn't.
was at
That was
the
someone
bottom
else. You're
of the
mistaken.
map.
You're
And
mistaken.
he was like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna keep this. I don't
This is
care."
not fair. This is
and
not
then
fair.
Smunk runs
being
all the way up
cyberbullied
to the
in front
top
of
with
100
live,
people.
and Smunk crashes out, and he can't even catch him
plugging
because
my ears,
Hope's
I
the
can't hear
best perk in the game.
La, la, la,
And then
la.
when we're doing the balancing, Smunk is like, "Oh man, we gotta get rid of Hope. It's
there weren't any endgame
unreal."
perks on killers. No, there was no perks on endgame killers. Survivors shouldn't have endgame perks here either. Okay, okay. Aegis taking the chase out of mid. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm gonna go cast Aegis chase now. He's going to take the chase to the Lego loop here, the matchstick tiles, as he runs towards the exit gate, and you don't think he's going to be able to get out. He's going to get grabbed again for the second time this match on the same side of the pallet. That's the second time that's happened to him this match. That's very unfortunate for Mr. HTG, but Potato Savage with the save. Is he asking kindly to maybe let Age out the door? Maybe politeness goes, oh god, no, he's not feeling polite or generous. He's just going to slam Potato into the wall here and then get out of the game. But regardless of how you slice it, this will be a 2-0 for Lirsanmarine here. Is he able to get the slam into Potato? Oh my god, you just got pissed on, brother. As he does secure the 4K for his team, a 4K0 for Wesker here. Looks like he's going to be dropping Potato Savage. He's just very happy with himself. But regardless, that was a 4K0, maybe. He might be able to crawl here, but regardless, Lirsanmarine has won the Wesker set, obviously. But any final closing points for you, Starzy, before I get into my outro?
Yeah, so it honestly, watching this game back, it felt like the pick for Fredo wasn't even Wesker. It was Clown, which is funnily enough. H definitely had a much better performance. Unfortunately, just really wasn't ready tonight. But that's absolutely fine because there are a lot of groups, and I think these guys, they are in Group B, right? Yes, they are. So they could still technically come first, but they could come second as well, and they'll still make it to the finals. So there is some room for error for teams, so that's fine. Maybe they're able to clutch up and come back week 2, but we'll be seeing Fredo. But a great start for Lirsanmarine, who will be very happy with the 1-0 lead. It's a very, very good when you've only got about 4 weeks worth of games. So it's always good to get that early win and get you into a good mindset. But honestly, their survivors were just on the money today. Killers were pretty good, but the survivors, absolutely perfect. We're able to just clutch up and do extremely well. But anyway, do you think, man?
Awesome. Thank you, Styles, and thank you for casting for me tonight as well. Now, guys, unfortunately, we only had the one matchup here tonight for you, but tomorrow night we do have 3 games for you all tomorrow. Let me go into the hashtag tipping channel to see where those are, if I can find the tipping channel, so I can tell you all about tomorrow night's and Sunday's games, because honestly, we've got some proper bangers for you on Saturday and Sunday. Some really interesting matchups and some interesting sets that did get shuffled around a little bit, but that's okay. But to read them out for you here, they are, we have... All right, to start things off on Saturday, we do have Echo vs Synergy at 7:30 p.m. AEST with Blight Hillbilly Dredge. We have Renewal vs Harden, Dark Lord, Wesker Blight, and Bands vs Void with Handmaster, Cannibal, and Spirit. And then Sunday, we have Bleed Out Gospel, Unknown, Dredge, Handmaster, which looks pretty spicy. Kaito Kids vs Zetsubo, which is going to be Demogorgon and Wesker, and then a tiebreaker of Clown, and that will be the next weekend's games here. But before I go, I do want to mention a few things, plug a few things, in case you didn't hear me earlier. Tomorrow, 12 p.m. AEST, we're going to be seeing Dead by Femmes. That's twitch.tv/Dead by Femmes. They're going to be doing a charity tournament there with a bunch of Fem creators, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's some unique rule sets there, and it's also for a really good cause. That's the White Ribbon Foundation for Domestic Violence. So go donate some money if you can, spare some. It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be streaming all day tomorrow from 12 p.m. to whenever it ends. It's going to be a long stream. I think there's like 4 teams, and they're going to do a round robin. I believe that's how it works, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So please check them out. Of course, we'll be mentioning them on our socials when the event does go live, so you'll be able to catch them then, and then which will be a lot of fun. And afterwards, we're also going to be raiding the one and only Hezekiah after the stream. And so please stick around, show Hezi some love there, as he's going to be a super chill dude. He's a wonderful friend of OSL, and he's just an awesome guy in general. Shout out Hezekiah and chat. Hi, chat. Hello. Hi. And I believe that was it. I don't think I missed anything. Remember, Dead by Fems tomorrow, 12 p.m. AST. We're going to go raid Hezi after this. Thank you again to everyone for joining us for the first night of OSL. I think the season is going to be a banger. And of course, if you have any feedback for the balancing, please let us know in the questions channel, in the general channel, whatever. DM the balancers directly. I hear New loves getting DMs. It's his favorite thing. But with all that, I'm going to bid you all goodbye as we go to raid Hezi. Bye-bye, chat. Bye-bye.